Hello everyone, welcome back to this video, and this video is a continuation of our previous videos in which we were discussing HCL interview round questions, and here we are discussing the technical round questions that are being regularly asked in HCL interview. Okay, so before moving ahead with the video, I would like to tell you that if you are new to our channel, please subscribe to the channel so that you will not miss any updates from our channel. We regularly post interview related questions, data structure related videos on our channel, and if these videos are helping you, please give them a like and also share it amongst your friends so that also they can be benefited by these videos. So without doing a much ado, let's start with our video. So the first question for today's video is, what are the 4 pillars of Java? Then let's see the answer for this. Following are the 4 pillars of Java. Inheritance allows an item to inherit all or some of the properties and features of another object. Abstraction, when you pick data from a pool of data and display only the features relevant to the item, the process is known as the abstraction. Encapsulation, you can achieve encapsulation when every object in a class retains its private state. Polymorphism, you can utilize the class identical to its parents without encountering type confusion using the polymorphism. So these 4 pillars of Java are also the concepts of OOPS. You might have already studied them, but sometimes you might get confused when you are being asked that what are the 4 pillars of Java. So you need to understand that the 4 pillars of Java are nothing but the concepts of OOPS, which are inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation and polymorphism, and a one-liner answer for these will be more than sufficient. So let's move on to the next question now. What is the difference between structured English and pseudocode? The structured of a program module utilizes structured English, which is a native speaker. It also makes use of a programming language keywords. Pseudocode, on the other hand, does not have the specific syntax for a certain language. Okay, so this is the main difference between the structured English and a pseudocode. So many times we are very much confused about what is the difference between the structured English and pseudocode. Pseudocode is basically not the actual code. When you will compile it, it will give you errors, but pseudocode is a replica of the actual code, so that you can understand by looking at the pseudocode like how your code is going to behave. So let's move on to the next question now. What is the use of the finalize method in Java? Finalize is a specific method similar to how the main method functions in Java. This function is used as the last attempt of an object to clean up. After the finalize function is used, the garbage collector automatically reclaims the object. Using the finalize function involves fixing orders, resources, closing connections that are open, and much more. So these are the uses of the finalize methods that is provided in Java. Moving with the next question, which is, what is stack unwinding? Stack unwinding is a practice that involves the removal of a functional entries from the call stack function when it is runtime. Stack unwinding is often related to exceptional handling. There is a linear search conducted for the exceptional handle using the function call stack upon the occurrence of a C++ exception. Followed by this, the entries that precede the function with the exceptional handler are eliminated. When the exception is not handler in the same function, stack unwinding becomes essential. So this was the whole concept of stack unwinding. The next question is, what is a peep stack? A peep stack is an action or stack function that is used for returning the value of the topmost element of the stack without the removal of this element from the stack. So this is a peep stack. Moving with the next question, what is collection framework? A collection framework stores and retrieves a group of objects. Objects stored in a collection are easy to modify, search, sort, add and remove. There are several examples of collection frameworks such as map, set, list and amongst others. So these are some of the concept of collection framework. Collection framework is one of the concept of Java, I guess. Next question is, can you explain how hashmap works? To call the hashcode method, it is first required to call the get key method. Upon doing this, the hashcode method is called, which returns the value of the hash. This returned hash value is used for finding the bucket location of the key value pairs stored as entry objects. Since hashmap is not synchronized, it is not thread safe. So this is how the hashmap works. Moving on to the next question, what is the difference between application context and bean factory? There are two containers provided by the Spring framework for dependency injection, which is application context and Bean Factory. While Bean Factory offers basic functions, application context is a feature rich and can do a lot more compared to Bean Factory. Moreover, application context is a preferred choice for real-time application. Application context also supports internalization. So this is the difference between application context and Bean Factory. Moving ahead to the next question, what is a string buffer and how it is different from string? A string buffer is a class that can be used for creating string objects which can be modified. A string buffer class allows you to carry out several string operations such as reversing, appending, concatenation, etc. While a string buffer can be mutable, meaning the above operations can be performed on the same object. The string class is immutable. The string consumes more memory than the string buffer, and the concatenation operations are also faster on string buffer as the objects are stored in the heap memory. Moving on to the next question, can you implement a linked list? Yes, a linked list can be implemented using the node class. There are three functionalities that are used for the implementation of a linked list, which are as follows: insertion at the starting position, insertion at the ending position, insertion at the required given position. So these are some of the operations on linked list and how can a linked list be implemented. What are threads? There is a single process. There is a range of processes happening simultaneously in every operating system. For instance, a user can be browsing the internet, typing a document, and listening to the music at all the same time. These processes are divided into various threads, which are small execution units that makes it possible to process these functions parallelly, thus making a system fast and efficient. Threads have their own resources and memory space for execution. Further, there are different types of threads such as kernel and user threads. So these are the whole concepts of threads. What is a function pointer? A pointer to a function is known as a function pointer. Unlike normal pointers that points to data, functional pointers points to the codes. They are useful function for passing the address of one function to another or for implementing a callback mechanism. So this is the concept of a function pointer. What are virtual functions? Virtual functions are used in C++. They are declared in the base class and are used as a member functions. They are both defined and redefined by dividend class. This simply means that you can override a virtual function by the derived class. How many constructors can you create if you have a class test sample? There is no specific limit that is set when it comes to creating constructors. However, the constructors created, irrespective of the number, should have different set of parameters. Moving on with the next question, what is the difference between a constant and a global variable? While global variables can be accessed and modified by all the functions in a program, constant variables cannot be changed throughout the program as they have a fixed value. Next question is, what are postfix and prefix operators? Postfix and prefix operators are denoted using the following operators respectively, plus plus and minus minus. While these operators can be used as prefix and postfix, what is different for both is the results. While plus plus I causes an increment in the counter before performing the next action, I minus minus first performs the next action, followed by which there is an increment in the value of I. Next question is, what is the difference between compiler, interpreter and assembler? While the compiler is used for converting a complete high-level language program to machine language at once, an interpreter converts the same line by line. Assembly language programs can be converted to machine language using an assembler. So that's all for this video. We have completed total of 67 questions that are being regularly asked in SCL technical round questions. If you feel that these videos have helped you in some way, please give these videos a like and also share it amongst your friends so that they can also get benefited by these videos. Also, if you are new to the channel and if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please give it a subscribe and also press the bell icon so that you will be notified whenever we will upload our new videos. Also, we regularly post interview related videos on our channel, data structure related videos on our channel. If you are also preparing for your upcoming interviews, please subscribe to the channel so that you get regular updates for your interview preparation journey. Thanks for watching the video.